Apex Racing TV, and welcome to the VRS Sprint Series. My name is Tyler Max, and alongside me today is Ryan Walker. So we are here for the first of our broadcast, week number 5 of the VRS GT Sprint Series. And right now we are currently working lap number 3. Sorry, a little bit of technical difficulties at the beginning of this live stream, but nonetheless we are live here now. So Ryan is expecting to be a good race now. The field is very, very close all the way through. What are you expecting?
Even in one VRS Sprint Series, a series that I've raced in before for not a while, but I've raced in it in the past, and yeah, especially a track such as Laguna Seca, I think it's going to produce great racing. And yeah, I was watching the start into turn one. Unfortunately, we didn't catch that, but I watched the start into turn one, and there was absolute mayhem everywhere. Yeah, it was just like watching a game of pinball, but at the moment, everyone seems to have settled down and settled into line.
Yeah, and as you can see there on the interval on the right hand, if you go to the left hand side of your screen, on the right hand side by their names, you can see the intervals of the drivers. And we're pretty much seeing 2 and 3 tenths maximum. I'm seeing all the way down through the field is 8 tenths, and there's a little bit of contact there a little bit further back. That is Exoy Ori Alonso as he moves down another spot. So he's going to lose 2 spots right there just in the span of 1 corner. But right now, your biggest mover, Jacques, and I don't even want to try to pronounce that last name, moving up right now, currently up 7 positions. He's tied. Actually, there's one more person, a little bit more positions up now. We're seeing a lot of people moving all the way through the field. We're seeing a nice variety of cars here as well. So there is your car logo. So we're seeing a very nice variety of cars all the way down through the field. So it's definitely going to produce some great racing.
Yep, absolutely. It's good to see it's good to see a variety of cars. I think there's a McLaren out there. There's several Mercedes. There's one Audi with our Apex Racing TV colleague Joseph Ringrose currently sitting in 9th position, and also there's manufacturers as well. So it's good to see a variety, and at the moment it seems to be. Yeah, it seems to be pretty close throughout the field at the moment as we look at Joseph at the moment running in P9. It's good to see Joseph running well with with what I believe is a solo or sole running Audi.
Yes, I believe you are correct. I'll pull the car logos back up just one more time. And no, there is one more Audi out there with him, and it is in the form of Jakika Louis. And he is currently running in first position, so doing very, very well for himself. But he's followed by 3 BMWs. Right now I'm seeing mainly BMW and Mercedes all the way down through the field, and a little bit of Ferraris a little bit further back. But we have, like I was saying earlier, a lot spread of cars, so that's definitely providing good racing, being that, you know, everyone's a little bit stronger than each other in different spots. So there are very close all the way through, though, all the way through the field at this point. Very, very close battles. And really a lot of movers, but not many crashes. Everyone's kind of keeping it clean here on these first few laps, which is kind of surprising for me in the VRS Sprint Series, as there's usually quite a bit of crashes.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just looking up at the front at the moment with the top 3. Yeah, I was going to say top 3. There's several cars together as well as they head through the first few corners, and as track is close together around the track, such as Laguna Seca, I think track position could be key, and I think some people might be trying, maybe trying to pit early and maybe try and do like an undercut.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be seeing some interesting strategy here today. Only a 40-minute race, so we're not looking at too long of a race per se. We're looking at quite of a short sprint race today. I'll try to get you some weather up here on the side of your screen there. So there's some weather for you here today. We're looking at about a 20-kilometer wind for these drivers, and about 20 degrees Celsius in the air temperature and 40 degrees Celsius track temperature. So we're looking at a pretty hot track here today, being in the deserts of California. As you can see, there is pretty much just sand and kitty litter around this entire track. So definitely a track that you don't want to be going off at, but also a track that does provide some pretty good racing in that aspect, as you do have to be very, very careful, but it's also a track that's got a lot of passing opportunities.
Yep, absolutely. As we're currently looking at the top 2 up at the front, but also behind these 2, I believe Ramos and Krasniqi Krasnicki were going at it for third position into turn one, but I think Ramos has managed to hold on to that position for now.
Yeah, definitely, indeed. As just trying to deal with a couple of things here on the broadcast, so I am going to bump up the audio for you guys there. So hopefully that's a little bit better there on the audio side of things. So I'm going to try to bump that just a little bit more. So hopefully the audio is better for you guys there now. So yes, but we got Japika Lui in the lead over Sergio Medea. So those two right now in the lead, as Medea is closing that gap just a little bit, now down to 0.6 of a second. And the field is kind of spread out from 9th all the way back to about 12th. And then we have a couple of close drivers, but everyone's pretty much staying pretty consistent as we see Santiago Lucia. As I try to get a replay of that now. Try to get a replay there as he goes up at the top of the hill, just gets the car sideways, and he's going to lose a lot of spots there. So he's going to lose a lot of spots.
Oops, sorry, Tyler.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say the corkscrew is one of those corners that if you get it wrong, then horribly wrong. As Santiago, he got his right rear wheel on the gravel and just got sideways on the edge to the corkscrew and went into the gravel, but luckily, he managed to get going again, and yeah, currently running in 17th position. So yeah, but still a long way to go. So you never know, he might be able to gain some positions through the pit stops. But yeah, we're running about probably just 10 minutes into this race, so still a long way to go.
Yeah, definitely a long way to go indeed. Not really something that these drivers have to worry about losing spots at the beginning. Definitely easy to make spots up here at Laguna Seca, as there are a lot of places to go. As now we're going to look here at Jeffrey Lewis. He is your biggest mover on the field right now at 10 spots up. He is the number 20 car, currently running in 13th spot. He is chasing down Maximilian Mueller for that 12th spot. So he is the one to keep an eye on as he moves up the field here today. As we're seeing very, very close battle there. There is John I don't even want to try to pronounce that last name because I'm just going to absolutely butcher it.
I can have a go. Jan Alexandrov. That's my best attempt anyway. So I apologise if I screwed that up.
So yeah, he is now ahead as he gets ahead of Sue, and he moves up now into the 10th position. And as we look, there's about a 0.7 of a second gap now between your leaders. So that gap is pretty much staying the same as everyone's really starting to spread out all the way down through the field now. So no one really super close for each other. We are a little close here for 5th place as they are just about 0.4 of a second separating them. But other than that, we are pretty close all the way down through the field today. And I'm not seeing anybody moving super crazy as far as gaps go right now. So everyone is still pretty close all the way down through the field.
Absolutely. As we're currently looking at Timo Toika in 5th position. He's currently right behind Krasnicki in 4th place. So yeah, it's good to see Timo having a good run at the moment. I think Timo Toika used to race with Team Boost, but I believe he's left them now. So I'm not sure if Timo's in another team at the moment. But yeah, nevertheless, it's good to see Timo having a good run at the moment and currently running in the top 5 and not far off the leading cars in front of him.
Yeah, definitely good for him. As we look now over to Jeffrey Lewis, he is really close, looking at a move on Mueller. He's going to think better of it, though, as Mueller does run wide, so it is going to give him a little look down the inside, but he's not going to work out. He's just going to cut across his nose, as Ramos also very close to the back of your race leader right now. So Liu is led, I'm pretty sure, every lap of this race, but now he is going to be challenged by the BMW of Ramos. So Ramos right on his rear end as they head up the hill. So get a nice little cam for you here as they go down into the corkscrew. And this is just really going to show off how much they really drop through the corkscrew. I believe it's 3 stories they drop down through the corkscrew, so definitely a good thing to show there, and that's a lot of drops. So it's definitely a place that can upset the cars. It's also really hard corners to pass in, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. As old Ramos tries to go up the inside, he's up the inside into the final corner. And he manages to get a run alongside Lau as they head up the home straight. And yeah, if Ramos can stay up the inside as they head up to turn one, he should be able to get up the inside and get the move.
Yeah, he is going to get the move done, it looks like. Liu is going to squeeze him quite hard, but he is going to be Ramos is going to get the move done. So that is Ramos now to lead. So your new race leader is in the form of Gennaro Ramos. So he leads now for the first time in this race. Liu is down to second, and Medea in third. Everyone is starting to kind of close some gaps now, so I'm thinking that we're starting to see some drivers making a little bit of mistakes right now, as Lewis is also right back on the back of Mueller again, so he's now just 0.4 of a second separating those two.
Yeah, absolutely. It's yeah, just up at the front, the field seems to be bouncing up again, but kind of in the mid pack, it seems to be some people are close, but they're not bunched up, but they're kind of staying together as Jeffrey Lewis tries to make a move up the inside into the kink, but he decides to back out of it. I wonder if he'll try and make a move up the inside of Mueller as they head up to the corkscrew.
Yeah, definitely one of the better passing opportunities. It looks as he's going to look for a move, but a little bit of contact there, and that is Mueller off the track. Lewis up into 12th, but that was definitely some contact there. I'll try to get a replay for you of that now. So try to get a replay here from, I missed that one, sorry about that. Try to get a replay here of his nose, so we'll just see, yep, definitely got into the back of him. Just going to send that Ferrari just a little bit wide. So Jeffrey Lewis, nonetheless, though, up into that 12th position here. So he's moved up now 11 spots, but definitely a little bit of contact to make that move, but he definitely made it.
Yeah, I think Jeffrey Lewis was a bit ambitious trying to go for a move there. I think he tried to take a look up the inside, but the gap was closing, and for me anyway, Miller was in front into the corner, and I think it was just a bit of a over-ambitious move by Jeffrey Lewis, but I don't think it wasn't anything intentional. It's both of them being so close that just ended up in a little bit of contact, but both of them are still going, so yeah, so they're still in the race.
Yeah, both of them still in the race, but Mueller is into the pits. He's got a 40-second pit stop right now, so that's not anything unusual from Laguna, but he is still in the pits, so I do presume that he has got some damage or he is just out of this race. So as they wind their way down the hill, Medea, though, is close to the back of Liu now. He is now just 0.5 of a second behind, so he is closing the gap on what was your race leader. Is now back to second, and Ramos now has a 1.2 second advantage, so he is absolutely checking out with the race lead.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just looking at Ramos's lap times at the moment, and he's just managing to pull away, and I think his best lap time was 1:21.0. Lau's last or best lap time was 1:21.3. So yeah, Ramos was about 0.3 quicker on his best lap. So yeah, as you say, Tyler, Ramos is managing to pull away and is slowly checking out.
Yeah, Ramos is definitely just slowly checking out, down to a 1.6 second advantage. So he's definitely got the pace over these guys behind. Medea definitely needs to get by Liu if he wants any sort of chance at catching him. As everyone, like I was saying, is spreading out just a little bit. There is a mistake there from Liu. That's going to give Medea a great run down into the penultimate corner. If he's going to try it, no, he's just up to now 0.4 of a second, but now he's got Presnike all over the back of him, so that is going to also put some pressure on him from behind. So those three are really, really close.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what's wrong with maybe he's struggling with tyres a little bit, or struggling with the setup. I mean, at the start of the race he was pulling away, and then he's just, for some reason, his pace has dropped off ever since Ramos has got by him, and he's fallen into the clutches of the Prasnicki and Timo Toika behind him. So yeah, they've got a three-way fight for second place at the moment.
Yeah, definitely got a three-way fight for second, as Alcastrando, he's in the pit lane. Ringgross is also in the pit. No, he's not. He's out on the track. Sorry about that. But yeah, these three very, very close. And like you were saying, Lou is just trying. It's just pretty much just falling back into the clutches of these guys behind. It's as soon as Ramos got away, it almost looks as if he's struggling with tires, like you said. But this track is definitely a track that can really beat tires up if you're not really careful with them. But it's also going to be interesting to see once they come to the pit stop phase, who's going to decide to take tires and who's going to decide just to take fuel and try to make it that 40 minutes, as we're just about halfway through. In just 2 minutes now, we're going to be halfway through this race. So definitely going to be something interesting we're going to have to take a look at.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm just looking throughout the field again, and there's not really much going on at the moment apart from this battle for second place at the moment. And I'll get my words out. As I'm looking at his line of cars behind Lau, and behind him, he's starting to form a bit of a train at the moment. So yeah, I think Lau's struggling with, as I say, maybe struggling with tires or setup. But yeah, I'm not sure what's happened to him. His pace has just dropped off.
His pace has definitely dropped off indeed, and he's really holding up Medea behind him, and Prestrinkini. I just absolutely butchered that really bad, but he's definitely holding all those guys up. He's almost got a train behind him now, so Medea definitely needs to start trying to get by him, as Ramos now just has an absolute amazing lead. He's got just about 3.5 seconds now on those guys behind, so Liu is definitely holding that entire train up. All the way down through the field, and that's possibly hurting those guys behind him that maybe should have the pace to keep up with Ramos. But right now, Ramos is just walking away with the race win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I'm not sure if maybe the Audi's not suited to this track, so maybe it's it's maybe a weak point of the Audi around Laguna Seca. Maybe it's strong at the start of the race, but as the race goes on, it seems to be maybe the pace just starts to drop off a little bit. The more punishment the tires take or the car takes, it's the more the pace drops off. But I'm not sure. It's a bit confusing.
Yeah, definitely a bit confusing for us as well. Or definitely a bit confusing that he is that far off the pace. From my experience with the Audi's not too bad on tires, but it's definitely kind of hurtful, though, to the rear tires over a long run. So you may just have a problem with the rear tires now, as Medea is pretty much all on the back of Leu now. So he is going to really have to try to start putting on the pressure and just try to force the issue if he wants any chance of winning this race, as Ramos is now 4.5 seconds over these guys now. So either that, or I'm going to see some people behind Medea start to get a little bit impatient, maybe start to force a move on him to try to force a move on Liu.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was just talking about Liu and Ramos's lap times as well. Ramos's last lap time is a 20.7. Liu's last lap time is nearly a second slower. So yeah, his pace is dropping off. But I have to say, I'd like to give a shout out to Joseph Ringrose. He's doing a good job in 9th position at the moment. Yeah, he's keeping out of trouble so far, and currently running well at the moment in the top 10. And it looks like in front of Joseph and behind Joseph, he's not really having to do anything. So he's just kind of doing his own thing at the moment, and managing to as he clips the curb a little bit. Careful, Joseph. Managing to lap at a reasonable pace.
Yeah, he's definitely doing a good job. Up 6 positions in this race, as we see many people are up quite a few positions, but there are also some people in towards the back of the field who have had a little bit of issues and are quite far back. We have 23 people racing this afternoon, with us 20 people on the left-hand side of your screen on the little movers board, or whatever you want to call it. But your biggest mover right now is Jeffrey Lewis. So he is pretty much stayed where he is right now, but he is right on the back of Siju, as he is really close now, as I'll get an interval up for you there. So now he's about 0.3 of a second. He is really moving up fast in this race, so he must have had something go wrong with him in qualifying, because right now he is absolutely on the charge forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like, as you say, Tyler, it's good to see Jeffrey having a good run as well. Yeah, he's keeping out of trouble. He's kept out of trouble so far, I should say. But he's right behind the CEO and putting him under pressure. So yeah, if he can get by him, he might be able to try and maybe catch up to Joseph in front of him.
Yeah, definitely indeed. And one of these things that these drivers are really going to have to think about here is the amount of incident points that they do rack up, because as much as you really do need to push and try to test the boundaries here, it also can really hurt you due to just how severe and how easy it is to get an off-track here. As you see, Suju gets very loose coming off that corner, so you get a big tank slapper there. So that is going to allow Lewis to close up just a little bit, as we are going to go back to this battle in the front. So right now we're just looking here with these drivers. So 2 pretty much through, I'm going to say 6, are very close in times there. So I'll try to get the battle box up for you there. There we go. As Liu has now gotten a 0.7 of a second gap. So everyone's trying to spread out, or spreading out just a little bit there for those guys. But so he's started to find pace again.
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to say he's managed to pull away a little bit and build up just a bit of a gap between him and Medina, and yeah, it looks like these cars behind him are starting to battle away a little bit, which is allowing him to just pull away a little bit and just build a bit of a buffer behind him. So yeah, but I think when it comes to the pit stop, that could all change.
Yeah, definitely indeed. The pit stops are something that really does throw a big throws in a big deal into this race. It's always something that can really affect drivers. We see people gain a lot and lose a lot in the pit stops, as Ramos sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:20.53. So he was 0.6 of a second faster than Liu last lap. So he is absolutely flying right now, 0.9 of a second from 3rd to 6th. He was that fast ahead of everyone else. He was pretty much minimum 0.6 of a second, so he is absolutely gone right now.
Yeah, I was about to say Ramos is just absolutely bolted up the road and just built up a gap. I'm just looking at the gap at the moment, and it's about between 5.9 and 6 seconds. So yeah, he's just absolutely just took advantage of these guys battling away, and he's just sprinted away and built up a gap. So I think when it comes to the pit stops, if Ramos doesn't have any issues, he should possibly be able to pit and also retain the lead, or yeah, possibly retain the lead anyway if it all goes well.
Yeah, definitely an option there. He could probably even pit and even have a little bit of a mishap in the pit stops and still come out with a lead. He's got that much of a lead, and he is that fast right now that he's just able to stretch away, as he's still 0.4 of a second faster than Liu last lap. So they are really spreading out. He's just absolutely just able to gain that gap up. I think he's gained 0.4 of a second, maybe about 1.5 seconds. So he's really on the pace right now. As we look there, as Lewis is into the pit lane. So your biggest mover of Jeffrey Lewis is now into the pit lane. Going to try to get on some brand new tires. We're 26 minutes into this 40-minute race. So I think that this is when we're going to really see some pit stops starting to happen, as your race leader Ramos also has caught up to some lap traffic. So this could also play a factor in this race. He's got some lap traffic. As the lap traffic goes off the track, he's going to get by him nice and easy. But like I said, lap traffic, if he does end up catching up to any, could play a huge factor in this race.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask as well, Tyler, if you were in these guys' shoes in a battle like this at the moment, what sort of strategy would you go for? Would you try and pit early and try and go for an undercut, or try and go as long as possible and try and not?
Well, if I was Medea right now, I would definitely be going for the undercut, because it's definitely apparent that he has more pace over Liu. So it wouldn't be a half bad idea just to get in, get the new fuel, and then get out of the pit lane so that you're not being held up and you can make up that time over Liu and just try to get the undercut on him. But if you're Liu, it almost would be a better idea to try to overcut these guys and try to just stay in front of them for as long as possible. So that's definitely some different strategies I would play if I was the different driver's shoes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what I would do. I mean, I'm not the best driver when it comes to strategy, so yeah, my strategy might be rubbish. But if I was in this pack, stuck behind one of these guys, I'd probably do the same and try and do an undercut and just basically try and get a quick pit stop and try and jump these guys and try and have a clear track and gain some, or get as much time as possible. But yeah, I think some of these guys might be trying to go as long as possible, or try and maybe go to the 30-minute mark and then dive into the pits.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I think that pretty much the maximum time, I think we'll see drivers, there will be no more pit stops after maybe the 30-minute to the 35-minute mark. I think 35 minutes is pretty much going to be the maximum that we're going to see here in this race of drivers going into the pit lane and trying to get their new tires on or new fuel in. Because to be honest with you, I don't see many drivers taking any sort of tires, as there is Takina as he jumps into the pit lane now, so he's going to try to get the undercut, it appears.
Yeah, so sorry to interrupt you there, Tyra. I just seen Toyka in the background diving into the pits, and he might be trying to do the strategy that we were talking about, trying to do the undercut as
yeah, definitely driving into the pits, maybe try to get that undercut strategy we were just talking about, like you just said. He may be listening into the broadcast thinking, oh, that ain't a bad idea, but yeah, so those guys are starting to spread out just a little bit now, so everyone is spreading out just a little bit more, but everyone's still less than half a second now between each other, so we still see that train of 3. It was 4, now it is 3, as Joseph Ringgross jumps into the pit lane, so he's going to try to jump in for his stop. This is now we're just about 30 minutes into this race. We just got about 10 minutes left to go here in this race, so definitely these time that I was expecting the stops to happen was just about now, and that's about when they are happening. So I don't believe everyone's going to pretty much jump in the pit lane here in the next couple of minutes, so they're not trying to jump in the last 5 minutes of the race.
Lau's in the pits as well from P2, so yeah, deciding to pit as I suggested, maybe on the 30-minute mark. So yeah, he's just done that as he heads into pit road.
Yep, so he is jumping in here at the 30-minute mark, so that could be good or bad for him, because he definitely could be jumped by these guys in the pit lane, as they are just way faster than he is now. This is what I'm trying to look at here at Tokia, is if he is going to jump Liu in the pit lane. So if he jumps Liu in the pit lane, that pretty much is going to confirm to me that they will jump him, but it doesn't look as if he's going to now, as Liu is going to get out of the pit lane. So he is out of the pit lane now. It's on the pit exit road, it says. So yeah, there he is going through the hairpin there. So no, he will not jump him in the pit lane. So Liu definitely had the pace. It's just about 0.7 of a second advantage, something like that, maybe a little bit more than Liu now. So yeah, he's a little bit more up the road than that. But so yeah, Tokia doesn't jump him in the pit lane, so that kind of is a little bit not concerning, but a little bit interesting here for these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just is race leader Ramos is in the pits?
So Ramos dives into the pit lane, so he is going to lose the track position now, but Medea also jumps in, and Prasniki also jumps into the pit lane. So your top 3 all jump into the pit lane now, as Human also jumps in. No, he does not. He does stay out, I believe. But as they all jump into the pit lane. So your top 3 jumping in, trying to pit around the time that I was thinking. So everyone pretty much staying at a consistent pit strategy, and Ramos is out. So he definitely just got a splash and dash on the fuel. So that's definitely going to give him a little bit more of a gap, I think, than Medea had previously. So he is coming now to your pit exit, as Jens Homan is now your leader. So Homan, your leader, and Marquise in second, Ramos third. But I believe that your 2 out front have not pitted so far. So yes, your top 2 has not pitted so far.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I think after the pit stop cycle through, and Homan and Macias in front of Ramos' pit, I think Ramos should resume the lead. And yeah, I'll have to say it was a quick stop by Ramos. He managed to, as you say, Tyler, gain some time in the pit stop and didn't take as much fuel as I thought he would. But I guess with pitting just after the 30-minute mark, you don't have to take as much fuel, which saves a little bit of time.
Yeah, definitely doesn't have to save any time at all. As I'm going to try to get pit strategy up here. Yes, there we go. So there is the pit strategy. It was 48.5 seconds total pit lane time, and Liu was 48.8. So those two are very close, at least, pit stop wise. Let's see the pit stop time itself was 7.8 seconds. So yeah, it was very, very fast pit stop there from Ramos. So he is about the same as Liu, but definitely fast stop indeed.
Absolutely, as Ramos retakes the lead. as Liu comes across the line, he takes P2 again. So it looks like everyone should settle back into the positions that they were before the pit stop started. So yeah, after the pit stops, the field is, it looks like it's managed to spread out a little bit, Tyler.
Yeah, the field is definitely spread out a little bit. We're seeing just about 1 and 2 second gaps. A couple of close battles there. So Sergio Medina is still half a second back from Liu after the pit stop phase, and Prasniki is also just sitting there in fourth. He's, I think, just going to kind of wait for the last few laps. I think that all these guys are pretty much going to wait until maybe the last 2 or 3 minutes maybe to jump into the pit, or to try to make a move on Liu. And because I think that they know that Ramos is out of their reach now, so they just kind of are just going to wait for a little bit on Liu and just try to make the move at the last minute so that he doesn't really have much time to try and make a move back down the inside of him again.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have to say, I'm looking back through the field from a P5 onwards, and it looks like people like Timo Troika and Bowman and Macias have fallen back a little bit. So yeah, it looks like the battle for second place is between Liu, Medina, and Prasniki.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that one. Those guys are pretty much all separated by just about 9/10 of a second there, so just about a second separating them at this point. I believe next lap, I'm going to try to get you guys an onboard lap from your leader, Jardia Ramos. So I'm going to try to get you guys an onboard lap next lap around. So, but we will focus on this battle for now for second. So Prasniki is dropping back just a little bit now. He's down to 1.2 seconds, but that is Medina all over the back, looking left and right on Liu. So he is looking for a move now. I think that he's just going to start to get impatient. We got about 5 minutes to go now. And Liu is now a 9-second advantage, or Ramos has over Liu. So, but Medina is all over the back of Liu, so we'll see if he looks for a move down the inside into the corkscrew. No, he does not, so he may try to make a move in the last few corners, or possibly down into turn one, some of the best passing places on the track, but definitely going to have to try to make a late move on Liu. I know that BMW does not follow the greatest. It is kind of an understeer car whenever you're behind people, so it's kind of got to get close and get by pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Medina has to try and make a move as quickly as possible, because I mean he's running out of time, as we've just got just under 5 minutes remaining, I believe. So yeah, Medina has to try and make a move as soon as he can, because time's running out. But Liu is not making it easy to get by any means. He's doing a good defensive job.
Yeah, as Medina is going to run wide, that's going to lose him a lot of time. Now he's under pressure from Prasniki. So he is lost just a ton of time. That just lost him just about 0.8 of a second there. So it's got some work to do to try to close that gap back up and try to get back up on the bumper of Liu. He's just got about 4 minutes to do it, so he doesn't have a whole lot of time to do it in this race. As we can kind of hear somebody sliding there in the background. I believe that was Medina. It was just a little bit of a slide going into there. So this is when I think the tires are going to start to drop off, and this is when you're going to see who's had the better of the tire management.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to say, looking at this, these three cars, I would probably say that probably Medina and Prasniki has probably done a better job of looking after the tyres. But looking at Liu, he's managed to pull away a little bit after Medina made that mistake and hold Prasniki up. So yeah, if Liu can keep this gap, kind of keep the sort of gap, he might just be able to hold on to second place.
Yeah, if he can keep this up now, he may be able to hold on to second place with just about 3 minutes to go now. So I am going to give you guys a lap on board with your race leader right now. Ramos will get a lap on board on his gyro cam there, and we'll be back with you guys at the end of the lap. go. There was a lap on board with your race leader, Ramos. So now we're going to go back to that battle for second place as Medea has closed back up to the rear end of Leu, so he is all up on the back, and Kresniki is now losing some time, so he is back to now a 0.2 of a second advantage. Hopefully he doesn't mess up this corner again, so he is going to keep it nice and tight this time. Now 0.3 of a second, so they got just about a minute left to go. I believe that they will get the white flag at the end of this lap, or they already have got the white flag. I believe they're going to get it at the end of this lap. But right now, Leu, all sorts of pressure from behind from Medea. And that's also, Persniki's also closing back up. He's now 0.3 of a second behind Medea. So those three still very close.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it looks like sometimes Leu manages to pull away when the two guys behind him start battling. But as soon as they stop battling each other, they manage to catch back up. But as I said before, Leu is not making it easy for these guys to get by. And he's doing a good defensive job managing to hold on to the second position. And he's only got one more lap to hold on to second place, but I think Medina and Presniki's best chance of trying to get by Leu is probably, or possibly, on the run up to the corkscrew, or maybe on the run up to the final corner on the last lap.
Yeah, and I believe that this is going to be the last lap. I believe the leader has gotten the white flag this time by, as we just crossed over the 40-minute mark. We're on lap 30, so we have completed 30 laps here at Laguna Seca. In my opinion, one of the best tracks in the country, as we do see, and the Medea is going to run just a little bit wide. That's going to cost him some time, and that may be his chances at Leu over, but he is down to 0.4 of a second. He has gotten an amazing run off the corner, so that's definitely going to be interesting if he is going to try to make a move. Like you said, it's going to be in either the corkscrew or possibly into the final corner are going to be pretty much his best passing opportunities if he can get there by that time. But he's also got to think if he doesn't make that work, he's got Persniki all over his rear end that he's going to have to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. Just heading through the kink now on the run up to the corkscrew. I don't think Medina is close enough to try and make a move. It's going to have to be something. He's going to have to try and be close on the run up to the final corner, but I believe the race leader is coming up to the final few corners now.
Yeah, so we're going to go over if this battle does look like it is calming down for now. So Ramos is going to come out of the final corner, and he is going to cross the line, and he will win here this afternoon. So Jordio Ramos wins here in Laguna Seca as we head back to this battle here for second. So it is, I believe, going to be Leu here at the line as Medea is going to pull out a line, but he is going to get third. Persniki is going to come home in fourth. Now we look at Tokia come across in fifth, Homan in sixth, Tooth seventh, and as we look there, everyone pretty much all the way spread out now, but Sue all over the back now of Lewis. So Lewis is, I believe, still your biggest mover in this race at 12 spots up. No, it's actually going to be David Tooth, so he did that on a zero-stop strategy. So David Tooth, absolutely amazing job by him to move up to have a zero-stop strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought he made a pit stop, Tooth, but I'm quite shocked he managed to make it work and make it to the finish. But yeah, fair play to him that he managed to pull it off. But I'm guessing he had to. Maybe he had to make it, or maybe he had to go into mega fuel saving mode. But as I say, fair play to him. He managed to pull it off and get a great result, finishing in P7.
Yeah, absolutely awesome job from him. As we will go back, there is your race winner of Ramos. So absolutely awesome race here tonight, here at WeatherTech Laguna Seca. So absolutely awesome job from these drivers here today. Absolutely awesome race. What were your thoughts on it?
Oh, it was fun. Even though we had the technical issues with the broadcast and the run up to the race, once we managed to get it going, yeah, I think we were treated to a fantastic race, and yeah, I think it's a good tester for the rest of the season, and I'm looking forward to commentating on more of these races.
Yeah, definitely going to be a good series. I'm just going to try to pull up the schedule now. I believe we go to, I'm going to try to look up where we go next, because this was an absolutely amazing round. Be sure to join us next Tuesday, I believe it is. Yes, next Tuesday at 2 p.m. EST. What is it for you in Europe?
It is, I believe it is, yeah, it's 7 o'clock in the UK, and I believe that is, it's either 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. Central European time or European time.
Yeah, so join us back again. We are at Lime Rock Park next time, 2 p.m. GMT, and like you said, the GM or 2 p.m. EST, and like you said, the GMT times because I already forgot them because I was hardly even paying attention. But yeah, so we're there at Lime Rock Park. Lime Rock, another one of the very tricky tracks on the calendar, but amazing job from these drivers here today. I don't see anyone. We do have Joseph Ringrose in our waiting room, so we will pull him in here with that 10th place finish. So I'll go ahead and pull him in here now. So Joseph, welcome to the booth, and amazing job by you here today. So you ended up coming out with that 10th place finish, moved 5 spots up. It was definitely a hectic race. How was it?
Yeah, I made a few mistakes. Wasn't my best race. Obviously going into turn one, there was that big wreck, so that definitely helped me a lot. Gained sort of 5-6 positions, and yeah, I made a couple of silly errors over the curbs. Yeah, got some damage, which yeah, my pace wasn't as good from then, but yeah, P10 is okay, I guess.
Yeah, definitely a good result with everything that happened. We did miss a start, and we are very sorry about that with the technical difficulties we had here today. We're going to try to get those resolved for next week, and I believe we did get those all resolved today. So I will let Joseph, is there anyone that you want to thank first off?
Yeah, massive thank you to Timo and Dejavad for help build the set and the other guys on the team, and massive congrats to my teammate Yuka Becker. We finished second, and yeah, you guys are broadcasting as ever.
Well, there we go. Awesome job by you today, as I'm going to let Ryan go ahead and walk through the results for you guys.
Yep, absolutely. The results are up on your screen now. So yeah, Gerardo Ramos takes the win in first place. Second place was Yuka Lau in second. Sergio Medina in third place to round out the top three. Fourth place was Kresimir Prasniki. Fifth place was Timo Toika. Sixth place was Jens Homan. Seventh place was David Toff. Eighth place was Jamie Macias. Ninth place was Ricardo Lehmann. And rounding out the top 10 was Joseph Ringrose. 11th place was Jeffrey Lewis. 12th place was Yoki Shu. 13th place was Martin Grusser. 14th was Borja Gizon. 15th was Santiago Souza. 16th was Benjamin Seiss. 17th place, I should say, was Sene Stoffmeal. And 18th was Maximilian Müller. 19th place, or yeah, the rest of the field is either unclassified, retired, or multiple laps down.
Yep, so those were your finishers. Your, what I believe was non-finishers are James King, Juan Alciasandrov, Exi Alonso, Tom Blaine, Peter Grosswheels, Jamin Torres, and Kane Halabrunton. So hopefully I didn't mess those names up that bad there. But so that was your race here this week from Laguna Seca. We hope to see you back again next week here at Lime Rock Park at the same time. Again, from me, from Tyler Maxson and Joseph Ringrose and everyone here at Apex Racing TV, we'll see you next time.